It is vital to use knowledge and discernment when managing relationships in a world full of different personalities and interactions. This fascinating aspect of Stoic philosophy teaches us who to help and, more importantly, who to think twice about helping, and we'll look at it today. Stoicism, with its emphasis on reason and virtue, offers a new lens through which to view human nature, highlighting 8 groups of people who may not benefit as much as we expect from our assistance. As we examine these ideas, you will discover how to conserve energy, invest money in relationships that allow you to give and take, and support genuine development in yourself and those around you. Help me uncover these Stoic principles that inspire us to be wise with our time and energy so that our efforts have a good impact while remaining well-intentioned. If you like the thoughts we're exploring today, please consider clicking the subscribe button as a small free favor. Also, pay great attention throughout the video. The final group we discuss is the most crucial, so you won't want to miss anything. Let's get started. Number 1. Finding inner peace amidst ingratitude. No matter how hard we strive to improve someone's life, there will always be one person who is unhappy. It's like pouring water into a sieve and seeing it empty itself, leaving nothing behind. In certain situations, our good intentions appear to vanish. Emphasizing internal rather than external approval is a key lesson in Stoic philosophy. According to Stoicism, acts of kindness should be performed in line with our principles and virtues, rather than for the sake of receiving praise or gratitude from others. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the significance of doing the right thing for its own sake, rather than for the potential reward. No matter what reply or lack thereof we receive, this way of thinking keeps us grounded and faithful to our moral principles. Nonetheless, Stoicism teaches us to exercise caution with our mental energy. Recognizing when our hard work is consistently met with a lack of gratitude is critical to preventing emotional fatigue and cynicism. We shouldn't judge individuals based on the outcomes they generate, but we also shouldn't allow ourselves to be drained by people who take from us without giving anything back. Not everyone is always thankful, so it's crucial to learn to spot trends and realize when a connection is draining more energy than it's worth. Another Stoic idea, the duality of control, can help you deal with jerks. Adhering to this principle allows us to discern between our own free will and the emotions and behaviors of others. When we focus on what we have control over, we may stay true to our ideals without becoming frustrated or distracted by the opinions of others. We must maintain our traits, recognize that we can only manage how other people feel, and protect our inner serenity by not allowing a lack of gratitude to weaken our drive to do good things when interacting with others who may never appear satisfied. Maintaining this equilibrium keeps us from giving up the qualities that fuel our generosity and empathy. Number 2. Encouraging responsibility and avoiding enabling. You've definitely met people like this before. Those who are naturally skilled at evading responsibility and seem to dislike exerting themselves. They are the ones who cannot stop making excuses for themselves and will never participate, improve, or make a difference. Virtues like self-control and perseverance are highly valued in the Stoic tradition. Stoicism is more than just sticking it out when things become rough. It's also about recognizing the value of hard effort in and of itself. According to the Stoic philosopher Seneca, hard work forms our personalities and strengthens our souls. He believes that what is most important are the lessons in endurance and self-improvement that we learn from our mistakes, rather than the end results of our efforts. Discipline helps us develop as individuals and prepares us to tackle obstacles head-on. However, when we meet someone who consistently avoids responsibility, we may be tempted to pick up the slack. This may appear to be a good act, but it typically results in harm. In actuality, We cause more harm than good by constantly making others feel better about themselves, by putting up with their laziness. By shielding others from the agony that comes from doing nothing, we assure that they will never mature as individuals. According to Stoics, allowing such behavior contradicts the fundamental goal of building one's character and ethics. According to Stoicism, everyone must face with their own commitments and the unavoidable consequences of their actions. This is the way to genuine growth, learning, and improvement. In addition to stunting personal development, fostering laziness can lead to resentment and unbalanced relationships. When engaging with unmotivated people, it's important to remember the Stoic concept of wisdom and identify when our support is truly beneficial and when it's simply enabling undesirable conduct. It is not a matter of less worry, but of proper concern that we cultivate independence and responsibility. We may teach individuals the value of effort and the satisfaction of overcoming lethargy by being clear about what we expect of them and allowing the outcomes of their actions to speak for themselves. Number 3, fostering accountability and addressing irresponsibility. Their refusal to accept responsibility for their actions and the repercussions they cause appears to be a defining characteristic of this group. Everyone knows someone like this. No matter how many times they make mistakes, fail to meet deadlines, or cause problems, it's always someone else's responsibility. Nobody is accepting responsibility, and the list of excuses is endless. Individual accountability is important to Stoic philosophy. While external events are beyond our control, the Stoics believe that our responses and actions are. According to Epictetus, the most important thing is to ensure that everything we do is consistent with what we believe is right and moral. To be in harmony, we must accept responsibility for our actions and the repercussions they produce, being honest and growing as people rely on it. What if we continue to support folks who are unable or unwilling to accept responsibility for their actions? We may believe we are assisting when we prioritize their needs, make excuses, or rectify their mistakes without demanding on accountability. The truth is that we may be creating more issues than solving them. The development of crucial life skills, such as self-management and accountability, may be hampered in this way. Furthermore, it can build an unhealthy dependence, resulting in a cycle of toleration or even support of irresponsibility that harms both parties involved. As Stoics, we should not compromise our own principles, such as justice, which means that everyone should receive what is truly theirs, including the consequences of their actions, in order to help someone. Assisting a careless person while violating this concept may have unanticipated repercussions, such as encouraging negative conduct and impeding personal growth. Stoicism encourages us to be smart and fair when dealing with the careless. Being smart is understanding when to stop attempting to help, and being just requires allowing individuals to face the consequences of their acts as they unfold in the world. Motivating others to realize how their decisions affect the environment around them is critical. This does not suggest that we stop loving or become harsh. Rather, we focus on giving them agency by leading them, setting expectations and, when necessary, allowing them to cope with the repercussions of their actions. Creating a culture that encourages and rewards responsibility is critical when dealing with reckless people in a Stoic manner. It is about enabling people to improve their own lives and the world around them by enhancing their ability to accept responsibility and help others do the same. This strategy not only helps us stay true to ourselves, but it also helps those around us improve in meaningful ways. Number 4, guarding against manipulation and preserving integrity. These people have a talent for manipulating circumstances to benefit themselves, even if it means that others suffer. You may be familiar with this type of person. They seem to have an axe to grind at all times, and they use deception and seduction to persuade others to do what they want, even if it causes chaos and unrest when they go. Knowing what we can and cannot alter is one area where the virtue of knowledge is highly valued in Stoic philosophy. Those who are skilled manipulators enjoy playing mind games, influencing people's emotions or deceiving them. Stoics such as Marcus Aurelius advise us to protect our emotions and reason from these external forces by constructing a strong mental fortress. Rather of creating barriers and disregarding others, we can strive to be more self-aware and understanding of the causes underlying others' acts. Stoicism teaches use to be alert and discriminating. One strategy to avoid manipulative tactics is to establish a strong sense of self-awareness and understand about one's own prejudices and sensitivities. This involves greater self-awareness in our interactions with others and in the context of our conversations. Is allure influencing us? Do you want us to make a decision under duress? These are important questions to ask while attempting to uncover manipulation. In addition to protecting our own peace of mind, defending ourselves from manipulators requires adhering to the Stoic values of justice and honesty. When we succumb to influence and act contrary to our ideals, we end up harming ourselves and others. The Stoics believed that we should all seek to live our lives in accordance with reason and virtue. Allowing a manipulator to sway us otherwise is harmful to our personal moral development. When dealing with manipulative individuals, we must strengthen our mental barriers. To do this, we must be exceedingly rational in our decision-making and never deviate from our beliefs. By dealing with people honestly and encouraging honest discourse, we can reduce the cover that manipulators utilize. Furthermore, it is vital to communicate clearly and efficiently with our contacts about what is and is not proper behavior in order to establish clear boundaries. When confronted with manipulators from a Stoic perspective, it is critical to recognize the dynamics of control, understand our role within them, and make a conscious decision not to participate in a cycle that undermines our autonomy. This strategy prevents us from losing our inner calm and ensures that our actions are fair and consistent with our underlying convictions. Number 5, overcoming harsh criticism and maintaining inner peace. No one can win over this gang. They always find something wrong, no matter how hard you work or how good the outcome is. They are notorious for their unwavering and often harsh criticism, which is never accompanied by encouragement or helpful recommendations. Perhaps you know someone like this. With a few words, they can dampen the mood of an entire room. Stoicism, on the other hand, offers a strong foundation for dealing with such negativity. It teaches us to actively respond to criticism and mistreatment in a thoughtful and helpful manner, rather than taking it personally. Philosophically, we are encouraged to distinguish between constructive criticism and merely destructive critique. Epictetus and other Stoics thought that our perceptions of events, rather than the events themselves, are what bothers us. As a result, it is vital to critically examine criticism when it comes your way, distinguishing between constructive criticism that may support growth and insults that just serve to drag you down. It is crucial to detect when criticism becomes negative instead than positive. No matter how unpleasant it is to hear, the purpose of constructive criticism is always to move forward. The message is respectful, straightforward, and simple to apply. Destructive critique, on the other hand, is distinguished by harsh, emotive, and ambiguous criticism. Its damaging nature erodes not just our productivity and morale, but also our sense of self-worth and peace. The secret, according to Stoics, is to maintain inner tranquility. It is critical that we defend our mental fortress against the never-ending critique of an everlasting critic. To accomplish this, one must learn to respect oneself highly and cease caring what others think. We can defend ourselves from the negative consequences of such criticism by focusing on our personal ideals and the truthfulness of our actions. Furthermore, Stoicism urges us to be calm in the face of criticism. The ability to listen to someone without allowing your emotions to take over is a skill. We take comments seriously and use it to make necessary adjustments. If the criticism lacks merit, we dismiss it and go on. Not only does this unshakable position safeguard our dignity, but it also disarms the critic by demonstrating that their statements lack the intended impact. So, the key to dealing with those bothersome critics is not to try to silence them, since we can't always do that, but to arm ourselves against the harm they could cause with their words. This permits us to stay unaffected by others' unreasonable critiques while focusing on personal development and living in accordance with our actual principles. This method does more than just keep us safe. It also allows us to thrive in the face of adversity by helping us to stay true to our aims and values. Number 6. Managing relationships with narcissists and preserving inner peace. Because they are so focused on themselves, these people are usually easy to identify. They enjoy letting everyone know that they are the center of their own universe. Dealing with narcissists is typically stressful, since they require a lot of your energy while delivering nothing in return. This conflict is not only physically exhausting, but also psychologically and emotionally stressful. Relationships built on mutual respect and support are highly prized in Stoic philosophy. Relationships based on mutual respect and ethical perfection flourish in a Stoic environment. Seneca, the famed Stoic philosopher, believed that relationships should be based on strength and reciprocal development rather than a zero-sum game in which one person constantly gains at the expense of the other. According to Stoicism, when dealing with narcissists, we should weigh the value we contribute to the table against the value we receive. The goal is not to maintain a precise score, but rather to discover areas of noticeable imbalance. You should probably reconsider the nature of the relationship if you're always putting in a lot of work and getting very little in return, whether it's time, energy, or emotional support. Stoicism is not about being silent when people mistreat us. It is about selecting carefully where to direct our energies. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of allowing reason to guide our actions, which includes being discerning about who we invite into our lives. If a Stoic is in a toxic or irreconcilably one-sided relationship with a narcissist, they may determine that leaving is the most reasonable and honorable option. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-care, specifically the cultivation of apatheia, or mental serenity. This peace may be disturbed if you continue to be in a relationship with someone who drains your energies without reciprocating. Thus, one approach to exercise Stoic wisdom is to avoid such procedures. It allows us to preserve our emotional and mental energies while investing in relationships and activities that better reflect our beliefs and support our health. While being nice and helpful is important, so is maintaining our sense of self. We may all move toward more peaceful, mutually beneficial relationships by following Stoic ideals. When achieving this equilibrium is unattainable, as it typically is with narcissists, withdrawing may be the most courteous and rational thing we can do for ourselves. Number 7. Balancing generosity and boundaries with opportunists. They appear to be able to see the positive side of any situation. Unfortunately, they have a tendency to put other people's needs last while seizing opportunities as they arise. An opportunist's distinguishing feature is their desire to exploit situations and relationships in order to maximize their personal gain at the expense of others. Virtues such as generosity and kindness are highly valued in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, on the other hand, emphasizes wisdom and prudential behavior. While being compassionate is admirable, Epictetus cautioned that we should not be so unselfish as to harm ourselves. In this sense, the Stoic concept of practical wisdom is relevant. It tells us to distinguish between genuine necessity and exploitation. As Stoics, we should be aware of the indicators that someone is attempting to take advantage of our generosity. It is one thing to help someone without expecting anything in return, but it is quite another to continue working on something that person does not want to accomplish. It is critical to recognize this imbalance, because if left unchecked, it can lead to feelings of exploitation and resentment, as well as a depletion of resources. When dealing with opportunists, it is critical to apply the Stoic principle of defining boundaries. Setting limitations protects our time, energy, and mental wellness. They are not intended to keep people out, but rather as guidelines for maintaining healthy, mutually beneficial relationships. People who are prone to overstepping or taking advantage of others can be better managed if we communicate our expectations and boundaries. According to Stoic philosophy, the concept of preferred indifference, which are desirable but not necessary for happiness, tells us to be unconcerned with material belongings and to place a larger emphasis on our inner virtues. However, this does not imply that anyone can use those indifference. We are instead urged to use them wisely, in ways that are compatible with our ideals and help society as a whole, rather than just those who may want to exploit us. Stoicism does not advocate for ceasing to be compassionate while dealing with opportunists. Rather, it advocates striking a balance between generosity and wisdom. Finding this middle ground allows us to support others in a genuine and long-term way, while remaining loyal to ourselves and our ideals. Essentially, it emphasizes the need of being both clever and good. Number 8. Handling envy and staying true to yourself. Their tendency to dismiss other people's accomplishments makes them tough to work with. The bad emotions caused by their envy, which can manifest as subtle barbs or outright hate, might eclipse any accomplishments. Stoicism can help you understand and control envy more effectively. According to Stoic philosophy, emotions such as jealousy stem from inflated perceptions of the value of financial things, social status, and public acclaim. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of personal integrity and character over worldly accolades or material gain. A recurrent subject in Marcus Aurelius's writings is the significance of remaining self-sufficient and moral in the face of external forces. This attitude enlightens us to the truth that other people's envy is a result of their own difficulties and concerns, not an accurate reflection of our worth or successes. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to be cool and composed in all situations, whether they are positive or negative. When we use this level-headed approach, we can enjoy our accomplishments without becoming attached to them, as well as deal with jealousy without allowing it to affect us. Stoicism encourages us to be empathic rather than spiteful when we feel jealous. By remembering that envy is typically a sign of self-dissatisfaction, we can approach envious people with empathy rather than defensiveness. Stoicism also encourages us to stay committed to our own journey and progress. It tells us that building a good character and living a rational life are our primary goals. Keeping our emphasis on self-improvement and remaining true to our moral principles is a natural defense mechanism against the negative effects of jealousy. Keeping this in mind will keep us from allowing others' negativity sap our energy instead of investing it in our own growth and making a good difference in the world. Stoicism does not encourage cutting off relations with envious people or harboring grudges toward them. Rather, it promotes the idea that we should get to the core of our emotions and continue to act honestly regardless of how others react to our accomplishments. This not only puts our minds at ease, but it also illustrates how to handle fame and money in a graceful and modest manner. When confronted with jealousy, embracing a Stoic posture strengthens our ability to ignore the opinions of others and focus on moral and personal growth. In addition to increasing our quality of life, this offers a calm path forward, free of the negativity that jealousy may bring into our personal and professional relationships. So concludes our investigation of the kind of people that can both threaten our peace of mind and teach us about our own character and ideals. Remember that our concentration and attitude to life's difficulties decide the extent to which we can influence its course. Pursue your trip fearlessly and carefully, remembering that every contact is an opportunity to do good and learn more about yourself and people around you. Your attendance here at Stoic Journal today is greatly appreciated. If you found this discussion useful, you may discover further information about Stoicism in the video that is now playing on your screen. If you think this video will help someone who could benefit from Stoic knowledge, please like, subscribe, and share it. For the time being, we appreciate your presence here, and until we meet again, may you pursue greatness in a tranquil manner.